Chapter 8 Al-Anam, the Cattle. In Surah 6, Al-Anam, or the Cattle, the name of Prophet Jesus appears in verse 85. Al-Anam was revealed in Mecca during 616 CE. Revelation at this time was primarily focused upon the oneness of God and Prophet Muhammad being sent as a messenger. As the reader is now well aware, the Arabs were the descendants of Abraham and Ishmael, and as a result were once taught the worship of the one God. However, the Arabs over time had abandoned these principles and plunged into polytheism. In fact, at the time of Prophet Muhammad, the Arab idolaters had 360 idols, which they housed in the Kaaba. However, to their credit, Allah was the one true, unseen God superior to the other gods. According to God's plan, Prophet Muhammad was sent to the Arabs in order to bring them to the path of God. In verse 83, God reminds the Arabs that Prophet Muhammad is one of many prophets that were sent before him. Through verse 83 to 85, 17 prophets are named and identified. Although the Arabs considered themselves illiterate and unlearned, they acknowledged the divine guidance of earlier prophets to the Jews and Christians. In fact, the Arabs' respect for them was based upon the recognition that they were God's chosen people, having both the blessings of prophets and scripture. The Arabs never considered that God could or would send a prophet amongst them. They did not feel worthy of his intention, nor did they desire it. They were fully content with the protocol of their forefathers, who worshipped many gods, did not believe in resurrection or the day of judgment, heaven or hell, etc. It is precisely for this reason that God sent Prophet Muhammad, thereby honoring the Abrahamic covenant and reminding the Arabs that Prophet Muhammad is a prophet like many that came before him. In verse 83 through 86, it states, "And that was the argument on our behalf. We gave Abraham versus his people. We raise by degrees whomever we will. For your Lord is most judicious, most intelligent, and we gave him Isaac and Jacob. We guided them all. And we guided Noah before that, and from his descendants, David and Solomon, and Jacob and Joseph, and Moses and Aaron. Thus do we recompense those who do good. And Zacharias and John, and Jesus and Elias, each of them had integrity. And Ishmael and Elisha, and Jonas and Lot, and each of them we blessed over all people." In verse 85, Jesus is mentioned with Zechariah, John the Baptist, and Elias. Muslims recognize the status of Prophet Jesus as being sent by God as a messenger and prophet. This is consistent with the various biblical passages that identify Prophet Jesus as a prophet. For example, in Mark 6:4 and Matthew 24:19, Jesus said to them, "A prophet is not without honor, except in his hometown, and among his own relatives, and his own household." And he said to them, "What things?" And they said to him, "The things about Jesus the Nazarene, who was a prophet mighty in deed and word in the sight of God and all the people." Both of the above passages identify Jesus Christ as being a prophet of God. Interestingly, one of the signs of a true prophet is that he is eventually sent into forced migration by his people or city. We see this in the cases of Abraham, where he fled Ur, Moses who fled Egypt, Jesus who fled Nazareth, and finally Prophet Muhammad who fled Mecca. One final thought regarding the designation of prophet. Muslims believe that God had chosen his prophets prior to the creation of Adam. This will be discussed at some length in Surah 33. For now, it should be understood that prophethood is a designation by the divine as he communicates through his angel Gabriel. As such, Muslims believe God completed the line of prophethood by sending Prophet Muhammad. This is why Prophet Muhammad is known as the seal of the prophets.